don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is typical. Give it on and watch it go. Make yourself unstoppable. You can go live on mine, but they're always possible if you just believe.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything yet.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing.
All right, I went live on yours. I can hardly hear you, but give me a thumbs up if I went live on yours.
Yeah, you did.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
What up, everybody?
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo,
We're
I
just
got a
getting
lot of
everything
shit to say, so I'ma
set
do
up.
this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking.
This is like the lobby, guys. Let everybody get in. Like, share, subscribe to Tommy TV.
Like, share, and subscribe. We're live on mine and Climatic.
Just letting people get in. It's just populating.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my baby mama. Look.
Man, we're gonna hear a lot from Jonathan Lockwood tonight. So if you guys got any questions, we're gonna let him do a lot of the talking and get his message out. But if you got
All right, here we go.
questions at the end, here we go. What?
No, we're about to start. Keep going. Keep talking.
At the end, we'll be able to address them.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got us come up from.
All right. So I just would like to do the intro so it gives everybody a chance to populate in so nobody misses anything. We will be joining being joined by Jonathan Lockwood. I actually talked to him on the phone a couple minutes ago.
He's a good dude.
He's a good dude. He's a solid guy. And yeah, I really was enjoyed when you went to the David Medina thing.
Yeah,
The event. That's the first time I saw it.
I think when he first came out, but everything he said resonated with me super much. You know, so yeah.
You should have heard what he told me in like 5 minutes of a phone call. Holy cow, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
Guys.
He don't care.
Right. Let's take this picture down so we can get a good solid view of Tommy. Let me see. There you go. Hey, there he is.
I went and looked at a house today with my girl that was it seemed like a good thing, you know.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
It's a little bit further out, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Know?
Right.
Yep. And so we got the paper applications, and we're gonna turn them in tomorrow. Hopefully.
Okay.
You know.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Town Hall Tuesday. Thank you for joining me and Tommy. Our special guest today is running for Congress in Oregon's 5th district, and we want to help him win. He is a based patriot. He is America first. I'm gonna let him speak for himself, but in the 5 minutes I talked to him, solid dude. I'm very happy about tonight's episode. It's gonna be great. Now, as far as last Thursday goes, guys, I'm not sure how we can ever top Tommy sitting here and then 20 minutes later getting bear maced. I don't think we could ever top that one, but this Thursday we're gonna do it all over again. You know? Can everybody hear me and Tommy just fine? I know some people can't hear me unless I like go to third base with the mic. I don't want to do that.
Soupy, the Max Patriot for 2 months in a row. Let's go.
Oh, we got everybody in here. So if you do super chat or if you have questions or whatever, I am not going to interrupt this guy. I'm going to shut up and let him talk. We will do all the super chats and all the questions at the end. I will collect them on a different screen. Don't worry. We will get to yours. If you want to just say hi, that's cool too. But we will prioritize the questions. I do have a couple pictures prepared, Tommy, but it's going to be about 60 to 90 minutes, guys. Because he's doing a space on X right after this, so he's going hardcore.
I'll be covering that too. I'll be live streaming that, and if you guys have any questions or anything, I advise you to join the space.
That's right.
And try to get up and ask any questions that you want.
Tahiti Wave says, "Who is he?" Let's let him answer that. That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing is about. Who is he is the number one question we're going to answer today. Hey, you like my eagle? Look, Tommy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know it's nice. I'm going to get one myself.
Nice.
Sorry.
There's a lot of different ones. You could put. I also found, guys. You know what Tommy needs? I'm going to say this so he'll put it on his list and somebody will buy it. I found shooting goggles that are prescription strength. That have a seal around your whole eyes, but they're for shooting, so you can see really, really well through them. You ought to get, they're like $40-$50. You ought to get like 3 pair. Everybody ought to have a pair of those, prescription or not.
Yeah, I should get a pair for sure.
We all watch it on MDG Gaming. Shout out to MDG Gaming. What's up, boo?
We love MDG.
This dude streams more than I'm awake. I don't know how that's possible, but he streams so much.
Yeah. He's very entertaining.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw, but he took his birthday trip to Vegas and was walking around Vegas, live streaming it. It was awesome. And you know,
that's tight. That sounds fun.
And it almost looked like he was wearing like a zoot suit, like a bell-bottom suit from the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, with the look he's got, it's like perfect. You know, it's like, oh, Dustin Jur's in the house. What's up, Dustin? Hey, everybody, could you please do me a favor? Do us a favor. Please share the link to the broadcast, whether it's on mine or Tommy's, on X, and let everybody know that we're doing this, that we're in here, and tag Jonathan. Hey, if you don't know his X, go to ours. We tagged him in the thumbnail. Just go follow him too. And you know what? He has under 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Guys, we're gonna change. We're gonna change that. Yep. We're gonna change that. We'll get it. We'll get it posted. Hopefully he'll put it up on his little things here. Donations. We'll do the view count. We'll do the donations down here in the corner. And then I don't want to cover up. No. Okay, we'll put that on when he comes in, and then we'll do top chatters in the corner here so you can see your name, and then we're gonna do the viewer count. Is it good? 82. It's still early. No, it's still early. It's gonna be early. It's fine. 82 is
Ginger
okay.
Shepherd, thank you for the floating hearts.
Yeah, 80 is good. So guys, if you don't mind, please share it and like it. Let everybody know that we're in here doing it. We're just, I mean, everything starts at 7. I tried. I was telling Jonathan we tried to start early one day. Oh, that was a bad day for me. I got you mother. And Polly was like my phone was like ding ding. Why you start early? I was running. I was like no. So.
Oh.
You know my favorite button to push now is this. Oh, it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh. Which button?
It's you laughing.
I could just do that without a button.
Right, that's funny. I have all kinds of ones. I have a zing. I have all kinds of stuff. And if somebody tells me some bullshit,
you are fake news.
So, Tommy.
No Queen's flag wave Saturday 5/2 at noon. Highway 213 in Beaver Creek, Oregon City. I will be there.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Now it'll ding in my ear. It'll go ding or click or something when he joins. So, and it'll pop up a little message on the string scope. So he's not gonna be sitting there going, "Hey, hello, I'm here."
Yeah. Good.
And so, that's right. I wanted to bring up a few things. Let me bring up the message with him. Because I think the first thing I'm going to ask him to do is just basically introduce himself to everybody. Because that's a good question. Like, who is he, right?
Yeah.
Because I know he said something about wanting to give sort of like his background and resume, and I think that's a great way to start. So, but I think definitely, guys,
want to ask him if he gets elected to Congress, what's the first few things he wants to do? The very first things he wants to do when he gets in.
Just so we're clear, guys, that he's running for the 5th Congressional District of Oregon. Okay, now that is not, he can't make any local and statewide, but he can go to the federal government and put pressure on them to pay attention. He can bring light to situations that were previously swept under the rug, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't want to say too much because I want to get, I want to.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a chance to, because I told him we would give him free reign and he could say, it'll be as long-winded as he wants. I know he wants to get to the space later, so we're going to start. We'll start. I know we're early, guys. So if you have any questions for Tommy, hey Tommy, did you ever hear anything from ISIS people? From the people from No, nothing?
Nope. I haven't heard anything from the DA at all.
Do you want to talk at all about the crash out fight thing or at all? No.
The Will thing?
Yeah. Do you care
Fuck
enough?
Will, bro.
I'm trying to occupy 16 minutes.
He tried to report my ex like he was going to get my ex taken down.
Yeah, I think one of my, the video guides of me reading off the list of Epstein people, just all I did was read names. It got demonetized, and I had a human review it over at YouTube, and they remonetized it. Win. All I did was read names. I didn't say anything bad. I mean, look. I mean, I always say this one thing, Tommy. I know I wrestled a guy named Jasper who committed a horrible crime. He killed his baby mama and shot her in the head and dumped her naked body in the bayou. And that was like a brother of mine in the wrestling business. That doesn't mean I'm also a murderer,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot. Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, he's on the list too.
Lots of people.
There's a lot of people on the list that they just were mentioned. If you were mentioned at all ever by them, you're on the list. Can't vote. Hey, I have a question for somebody in the chat. Hey, Dustin, have you had any communication with your brother at all? Has he reached out to the family? Have you heard anything? Hey, I'm gonna if we have time and we're just chilling and we have a time for my little game here, I got a couple
Yeah.
pictures up. I'm gonna ask him if he's ever seen this picture.
Yeah.
I got it. And then I'm gonna say, look,
Everybody.
and then I'm gonna show them what they all did to you.
Yeah.
And look, 276,000 things. So it's gonna be good.
Shit.
Are you playing the game?
I'm playing one game, yeah.
I knew I saw it in the reflect.
Morning.
I saw it in the reflection of your glasses. Just
I had a long morning, and we went and got something to eat after we looked at the house. And I ate so much biscuits and gravy, bro. I came home and
Thanks,
fell
Joe.
asleep.
Thank you, Joe. I tried to do a little commentary video today. It's hard to sit in front of a camera and just talk and make a video out of that.
Fuck Joe Biden.
That was probably the most. What do you think was the most iconic moment? Do you think it was at that racetrack where they did that?
Yeah.
Do you think that was the most iconic, or do you think it was the only Rosie O'Donnell from the debate?
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Or do you think that it was or you'd be in jail? Or do you think that Trump telling Maduro to fuck around and find out, and then he just took him? For like a week later, he's like, he doesn't want to.
It's all pretty hilarious.
Please show the Oregon 5th District map. I could probably grab that real quick. We have time. Hold on. Let me ask ChatGPT. Please. Okay, wait.
Jesus.
Show the, what is it? What'd you say?
We won.
The
Victory.
Oregon 5th. Is it all blue? District map. So I looked up how many percentage wise, how many people in Portland voted Republican versus Democrat in the last election. And it was like 66% voted Democrat and 33% voted Republican. Actually, that's way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, like a 90-10 situation. Okay, so I have the map up right here. I already found it. 5th district is Salem. Right on the edge of Salem. Oh, Eugene's not in it. Okay. It's 5th. Is this it? 5th. Oh, I don't know because it changes every year. I don't know. I don't know. It changes every year. Let me see if I can look at chat and see if anybody's asking anything. I still remember one of Mickey Rooney's last parts. Okay. Voted no in Virginia.
Pretend has 20 on Will. He's gonna lose $20.
Pretend has 20 what on Will? 20 nuggets?
$20 on Will.
I thought you said 20 nuggets.
Funny, bro.
How is it? Was he gonna waddle all over you? How is he gonna stop Patriots getting attacked and from ruining the ice building? Hey, see, this is kind of like we're gonna let him say the stuff that he wants to say and that he has prepared, right? And if we get time enough to talk about specific things and do our little picture game, we will. If we don't get to it, hey, if I don't get mad, you can't get mad. It's my show. Tommy's show too, right? Have you tried that T-Rex burger from Wendy's yet?
The what?
The T-Rex burger from Wendy's. I'll eat Wendy's. I like a square burger.
The square burger?
Wendy's is square burgers.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah, duh.
That makes sense.
Where did Rebby go when she's not? So Joe Casnaw, you've probably seen that name before. That's our longest standing liberal. He lives in Canada, so he's like half of a liberal. He was very upset about Charlie Kirk. That's one of the main reasons I let him stay, because he's not okay with what happened. So I'm okay with that reaction.
Yeah.
You're all good. Okay. Okay. Man, have you seen that? Not only Nick Shirley started some shit because now all the other people are doing it all over the country, like going and exposing shit. Angela Rose, she went to like Area 51 and she went to a lot of other places to expose a whole bunch of crap. And Nick Shirley went to Congress and confronted the people who did the Stop Nick Shirley Act right to their face. And they acted like they didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I seen that video of him today.
What's up, Revy? What's up, Amy? That's funny. Nick Shirley, he's got some guts, man. I
Yep.
he's hey
Nick
guys,
Shirley standing on business.
hey guys, does my camera look better, maybe more clear? I worked on my settings a whole lot because I was
Hell
noticing
no, it looks worse, bro. You look older.
I am older. Every day I
No,
get
I mean,
older.
you look even older.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know?
I was noticing how your hat and Shane's hat was red and mine was like orange. And I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I'm hangry.
I'm patriotic.
I'm hangry.
Nice, nice, nice. This is my
Today's a hangry
my
day.
whole wardrobe looks like this. It's kind of
Yeah.
okay. Let me see here. We have
No, I'm only gonna fight. I'm only gonna do the boxing with Will if he agrees that he only gets the $1,000 if he wins. That's how it should be.
see,
You know, I'll give him $300 for showing up, but the other 700 if he doesn't win, he doesn't get it.
there's a thing on YouTube called Rough and Rowdy. It's untrained people they put in a boxing ring, and it's sanctioned. It's got rules. It's got a real referee. It's got a ring, and nobody's gonna get stabbed or jumped or maced or anything weird shit. Y'all should reach out. If you told them the plight and sent them all this crap and showed them who you guys are, that I think that there is a 100% chance they're gonna be like, "Fuck yes, when can you come?" Well, you might have to crowd fund a ticket, but we can do that in one stream, dude.
Yeah.
We could do that in a Call of Duty stream and crowd fund you. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Yep. Yeah. We can crowdfund it, and if he doesn't show up, then we just get to keep it as if that you guys agree to that.
Danny Rebel wants to spar.
Yeah.
Danny Rebel wants to spar Tommy just for fun. Hey, Danny, when I come down there, we'll rent that wrestling place I told you about so I can suplex you. You can do you can take it.
Rebel wants to spar with me. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm down, bro.
It's sort of
I'm
like
down
bum
to play
fights,
around.
but just look it up, guys. Rough and the letter N Rowdy on YouTube. Rough and Rowdy.
I've seen the Instagram
It's
videos and shit.
they
of
just
Rough and Rowdy.
it's like they walked outside during the middle of the day before the show, and they're like, "Hey, you ever fought before?
Yeah.
No, perfect. You want to be in the main event? Come with us. We'll give you a grand, win or lose. Come on."
It's like Charleston White and the Island Boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. 100%. Yep. So, like, what was that guy he's dead now, but Kimbo Slice. He started
Kimbo
doing the
Slice.
backyard fights and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, rough and rowdy, just like Rebby. Not that kind of rough and rowdy, Rebby.
Rough and ready. Who's your baby?
Don't be a prick. Hey, I've been on Channel 11 here in Houston like 9 times. They did a whole story on me. It was weird.
I was on the news when I was young for skateboarding.
Oh, nice. Because you broke something or did something cool?
No, it was the opening of the Stockton skate park.
Oh, cool. Nice.
They got me ollieing off the big 3-stair. I was wearing a big old helmet. I was jumping off this huge 3-stair. It was pretty cool.
Nice. We had a homemade quarter pipe in the cul-de-sac growing up. We used to acid drop off the end of it. Well, they used to acid drop, and I used to chicken out. That's what used to happen.
We used to have a little quarter pipe, but it was just like a little 3-foot one.
Ours too. Yeah.
It was just a little one, and we used to launch off of it on our bikes and our skateboards. We used to live in this it was Diana Marie and Cheryl Court or Jill Circle. And we lived on Diana Marie, and then it was Jill Circle all the way around, and it was all Asians, like Cambodians.
I got it. It was me echoing. Sorry,
and
it's not echoing now, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, you were echoing, but that was my fault.
All right, we would charge the neighborhood kids like 75 cents a day to skate on the skateboard ramp. Like we would make money off of it. And then one day they broke it. One of them broke it, and so we was like, "Nah, you guys can't skate on it no more." And they got mad and tried to fight us. And one of them spit on me, and I snatched him off his bike, right? And I broke his glasses. But the next day, They came to my house, like 14 of them, and jumped me. There was a girl hitting me with my own skateboard in my
Why
front
you
yard.
always get jumped by groups of
They
people?
fucked me up, bro.
You've been getting jumped
And my
by.
grandma had to watch it through the window. My grandma was watching out the bedroom window. She's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Stay in the house." I
You
got
know what?
buddied
You know
up.
what? I've been jumped by a
They
group.
fucked me up pretty
I've
good.
been jumped by a group of people before. You can tell. You know, I have that kind of personality.
I've
I
been
understand that.
jumped more than once, that's for sure.
I try to fight one on one if I have to. If I have to fight, I try to run my mouth and get out of it. But I don't want to fight nobody. I'm too old, man. I don't want to drop nobody at this age.
We had a love-hate relationship in that neighborhood. One week we loved each other, and the next week we hated each other. It was pretty crazy.
We fought a lot in wrestling because a lot of the stuff was collegiate wrestling because my trainer was a college like an Olympic type of wrestler guy. So we did a lot of wrestler position, put the other guy on the back, go, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got about 5 minutes, guys. If you could please give both streams the thumbs up. If you want to have both of them,
hit the like.
Hey, why don't you open both of them and mute one? You want to help us out? That would do it. Watch us both, But just mute one, whichever one's the better quality. Watch that one. But make
Send
sure
the super chats to me though.
Nice. And send the memberships to me. That's a good trade.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah.
Tommy, you know what?
Thanks for me.
I gotta be honest with you. Memberships will change your bank account. It'll put that fucking comment in that bitch. It'll put a comment in your bank. Super chats are good. They're fine, but those memberships, because all of a sudden you won't think about it, and then you'll wake up and you'll click the refresh, and it'll be like up 900, and you'll be like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Like I got my money. See, here's how it works, guys. While we're getting going, I'm gonna tell you something. I got my pay today in my bank account like 2 hours ago from March.
YouTube.
From all of March. So if you super chatted me March 1st, I didn't get that money until just now.
Yeah.
That's why I get a little irritated because like when we have a special guest and we split the super chat with them, I'm giving them money that is already mine. I'm taking a big risk by doing that. If something were to happen to our channels or YouTube or something like that go wrong, I lose that money,
Yeah.
I mean, I had like seriously, no joke, I had like $2,300 in limbo last month. I got it, but I had a lot of money. I was like, it's like biting my nails a little bit, Okay, I'm just waiting for him. I don't see him yet. Well, I told him right at the time. So if there's a problem, he'll message me. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll join. He'll probably, he's probably pretty punctual. He's going to join, right? Do you have to pay tax? Do I have to pay taxes on that money? Yeah, I just did my taxes. And luckily I have a full-time job aside from that. So I got a little bit back, but I would have gotten a lot more if I didn't have to pay YouTube. But yeah, anything I think over like three or if you make over $3,000 or $4,000 on YouTube, you have to report it. If YouTube sends you like it's a W-9 or something like that. W-9, is that the home? It's a.
Oh God.
It was a different kind of form I had to do, but yeah. So that's why we all have to, Tommy, you included, you all have to take like 15-20% of everything. 1099, but there was another form too along with it. It was like a 1099. Oh, you know what it was? It was a 1099 miscellaneous. That's what it was. That's what YouTube sends you. 1099 miscellaneous. But yeah, you have to make sure you keep all your deductions. StreamYards I pay for, that's tax deductible. CapCut, that's tax deductible. And you buy a new chair, you buy a new computer, that's tax deductible. You just just open up a separate bank account and just every time you get every month, just take a little bit of money and put it in there. 15%, 20%. You don't want to get at the end of the year and owe 14 grand and you got 5.
Yeah, YouTube super chats should be considered tips because we're getting tips from people.
Yeah. Memberships too. Memberships are tips too. Hey, memberships are tips too.
Memberships are tips.
I looked it up. That's considered a tip. Now ad revenue from your videos is not. So
I don't think they take 30% of our memberships like they do.
They don't.
They don't. Super chats.
No, they don't.
So memberships are amazing.
The thing is until YouTube as a company separates the actual earnings from the super chats, it's all going to be one. David Gibson, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My girl
Oh,
texted me.
hey,
She said,
here we go.
"Get off your
Hey,
game."
we're ready.
I
We're
had
ready.
to get a game
Tommy,
in.
Tommy.
NC Kelly,
Hey,
thank you.
hey guys,
Hearts to you too.
hey guys, welcome to Town Hall Tuesday. We'd like to welcome our special guest, Mr. Jonathan Lockwood.
Let's go. What up?
Can you hear us, sir?
I can hear you.
Great.
You guys hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you. It's
sir.
nice to meet you. Welcome to Town Hall Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm excited to be with you guys today. It's gonna be good.
We're excited to have you. How's your day going?
Busy.
Busy, yeah.
Dealing
I'd
with
imagine.
some reporters and getting scheduled out for events and all the rest of the things we have to do through the rest of the primary. So ballots drop next Wednesday, the 29th, and then the election goes through until May 19th.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a day off? Look at him thinking.
I don't know. I'm pretty good about finding time to hang
That's
out
a
with friends and family and all that.
good answer. That's a good answer.
Um, Yeah, I have to travel for school. I have to go down to Santa Clara once a month for our on-campus residential days. So that is always fun to go see people down there that I know, friends down there. And then I traveled for school last summer. And so, you know, I went on some road trips. So I always find time to have fun. I don't think it's good to get so bogged down and
Speaking of
too heavy about things.
yeah, speaking of school, I know you wanted to talk about your background and kind of like your resume. Like, so a lot of people ask like who you are. So I'll ask you, who are you?
Yeah, so my name's Jonathan Lockwood. I'm running for Oregon's 5th Congressional District. This is the most winnable seat for Republicans in the state at any level. Easier to beat Bynum for sure than in the governor's race. We see that is quite the primary. There's so many candidates. But whoever goes up, I mean, Tina Kotek's the most unpopular governor, but winning a statewide seat is very different than winning a congressional district. So Janelle Bynum, she only won by 2 points. Then
this is her right here, guys.
Yeah, she underperformed Biden by like 8 or 10 points, I think. So she's not very popular, and she's been governing very poorly. I wouldn't call it governing really, but so anyway, this is the most winnable seat, and it spans all the way from Multnomah down to Deschutes, through Clackamas, Marion, and Lynn County. I've lived in 4 of the 5 counties in my time in Oregon, but so my background, so I was born and raised in Denver, and I went to a state school there for journalism. I always was a big reader since I was a kid. Like my parents would always get me different books, and I was really interested in the news and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Foreign policy. I would have Foreign Policy magazine when I was in high school. So journalism really interested me. I mostly focused on public relations though, and then worked in music publicity. And then there were no jobs. Like there was a huge hiring freeze. And I was in the hall in school at college, and I was just holding all these articles, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, we're all going to graduate and there's going to be no jobs. So my friend Nissa Zabo, her mom was a state representative, and she was just like, well, have you thought about getting into politics? And I was like, politics? My family's not involved in politics. We were conservative. My mom is like the quintessential female voter in Colorado. The way her ballot looks at every election is the way the elections go, which helped me in my career, which I'll get to. But so I went to this dinner party with Nissa, and I got this internship at the Capitol, and worked in the Speaker of the House's office in Colorado. They were in the majority. And then after that session, I worked on 2 congressional campaigns. One was a primary campaign that was defeated soundly by a conservative. The guy I worked for at the time was more of a moderate businessman. And then I worked for Congressman Mike Kaufman. He was one of the few Tea Party type Republicans that actually was able to squeak by in 2012. He was pretty hardcore Republican. So that shows, I think, that if you have really strong values and you defend them and you have a hard working campaign, you can still defeat Democrats in very tough districts. So that was a big year for me. That started my political career. I was raised by rural and suburban folks who were Christian and believed in American exceptionalism, American values. I went to private school for some years, mostly public though. My brothers went to charter schools. I feel like my brothers and I were so spread apart in age. I'm the oldest of my brothers and cousins. And, my youngest brother's in his undergrad right now. My middle brother is an accountant. And, it's just like we span like, I think from Zoomers all the way into, I'm like in smack dab in the middle of millennials. I'm 36. So I worked on those congressional campaigns, and then I helped the House Republicans do an event with Paula Broadwell right before her scandal with General Petraeus broke. It was kind of a weird timing. And I just really was helpful in organizing the event. And at that event, I was talking to the former House Majority Leader, Amy Stevens, and I was talking about how I wanted to come back to work at the Capitol for the next legislative session. And so she yelled at Frank McNulty, the Speaker of the House, Frank, Jonathan's going to be our new press secretary. So that was in 2013. And that legislative session, the Democrats had just gotten back into the majority. They were going like insane, pushing every, pipe dream, liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it. I really don't think it. I call their policies illiberal because I think their policies are actually not at all what they claim they are. So there was a Democrat in the House, and during the gun bills, he literally said on the House floor, you don't know if you feel like you're going to get raped and you might pop off on someone. And all the legislators were like falling asleep because they had been debating for so long. It almost was like nobody really caught it. And I snapped my fingers at the chief of staff and I said, we need to get a woman down there right now. And people are like, what did he say? And I was like, told Polly Lawrence, one of the top Republicans at the time, what he said. And so she goes down there and she said, did you just say women don't know if they're going to get raped? And it became national news. We blew it up. That was just one type of example of the communications work that I did. And I got all of them using Twitter. Like they were probably some of the first legislators to use Twitter. And we got these gun mugs. The handle was a gun at Urban Outfitters. I got a bunch of the members to get them. And so when the gun bill came up, they all put them on their desk. Like these things matter. And being really good at communications work makes the difference of bad legislation passing. And elected people need really competent, developed staff so that they can defeat the other side, right? In Oregon, they don't have staff like we did in Colorado. So anyway, after that legislative session ended, I went and was the communications director for a series of different grassroots groups. And we were really effective at taking on the Democrats. We also helped recall, for the first time ever in Colorado history, 2 legislators. One was the Senate Democrat president, the Democrat Senate president, and the other was a very popular Latina in a predominantly Hispanic district. So it shows that there, conservative issues, conservatives win on issues, I should say. They do. They don't always win at the ballot, but they do win on issues. And so it's a matter of connecting the issues to the voters and doing that communications work, grassroots, like door knocking and mailers and all those things. But it also takes really sitting down and working with reporters. We also I was a spokesperson for Coloradans for Real Education Reform, and we killed a $1 billion tax hike on the ballot that year, 2013, 65 to 35. So in that year was another big year for me because it really allowed me to flex my communications muscle and create like a huge portfolio. And, I did media training of all these executive level people. And then after that, I ran Generation Opportunity. It was a group similar to Turning Point USA. We were both around the, same time getting started. And I remember telling some of the people I worked with, I was like, Turning Point is going to do what we're trying to do, because they were pretty like strict with messaging, and I just don't think that we had as much freedom as they did to just go off and do what Charlie Kirk did. But we did very similar work. Millennial Free Market Advocacy Group, right? And so one of the things I took on was the online sales tax, and we used social media. This is when Facebook social media was all kind of getting started still too. And we just blow up all these members of the House with Facebook. I forgot what we called them, like Facebook bombing them. Just blasting them to high heaven. And we were helpful in getting millennial conservatives out to vote. And that year, Senator Mark Udall, he was the sitting incumbent Democrat. He was taken out in that election and replaced by Republican Senator Cory Gardner. And that was in large part too, I think, because of the work we did helped change a lot of the political climate. And so after that year and a half or so, I had the opportunity to set up a new organization called Advancing Colorado. And I took that and I ran with it. And we were able to defeat a single payer healthcare initiative, the $25 billion tax that would have basically scrapped away private healthcare and replace it with a very flimsy healthcare system. Basically, they didn't even say what would be covered, tripling Coloradans' taxes to do so. And then I also took on Senator Michael Bennet that year, particularly on his support of the Iran deal that President Obama pushed. And we were able to flip public polling from 35% opposed to 65% opposed. And that was in large part because of the multifaceted campaign that I ran, including a TV ad campaign that featured, it was a remix of the Daisy ad where we had kids counting down from 10 to 1 in their native languages, and then a nuclear bomb exploding. Because basically the Iran deal it was a huge gift to Iran. Flash forward, we see Ukrainians getting shot down by Iranian-made drones used by Russia. Like, all of this stuff is so connected, which we'll get to more of that type of stuff later. But after that, I was looking for a new job in DC, possibly. And I remember I was looking on Brad Traverse jobs, and somebody just told me to like hit refresh before I signed out. So I did. And at the very top was Oregon Senate Republicans. And I just had this voice that was like, you're going to Oregon. So I met with Senate Republican leader Ted Ferrioli here in Oregon. And I became the spokesperson for all of the Republican senators at the state capitol. There was a lot of press written about me when I first came here saying that I was crashing Oregon's polite politics. I do not think Oregon politics is at all polite. You have Christine Drazen with,
they're loony,
like
they're
sugary
Looney
fake voice. What was that?
They're Looney Tunes.
Well, yeah, and the Republicans are very passive here. A lot of weird things are going on. We'll get to more of that, but I just continued doing the same type of work that I did in Colorado here, taking on Kate Brown. She was a maniac, and she fanned the flames of all the Portland protests, just like Ted Wheeler and like Janelle Bynum has done. She passed some of the most radical legislation in the country. One of her big things actually just got slapped down by a judge that was Biden appointed and confirmed under Trump. This was the abortion free-for-all bill.
Was it her? Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Can you see
no.
It's Karen Emmergut.
Okay.
She's the Oregon District Court judge that keeps blocking Trump.
Yeah, so this judge that I'm talking about, though, actually smacked down Kate Brown's abortion bill.
Good.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, but that abortion free-for-all act, that's what I called it, made it so that anyone from anywhere in the world at any point in their pregnancy for any reason can have a free abortion at taxpayer expense.
That's
So
insane.
they created an abortion tourism industry in Oregon. And it was also a political gift card to Planned Parenthood. Well, when this was all going on, I got a hold of national pro-life groups and I said, I need your help. Like, either give me your press list or send out my press release for me. And it just blew up nationally. I mean, I was quoted alongside Martin Luther King Jr.'s niece, Alveda King, slamming the Oregon Democrats for infanticide and this sick practice of what they're doing. We know what they're doing. It's more evil. It's not just like, oh, we're helping provide reproductive health care. No, they are intentionally profiting off of this issue. And we know what that's all connected to as well. So the Democrats in Salem were not thrilled to have a very high level communications person working for their for their opposition party, the Republicans in Salem. And it was really weird to be like, I don't know, that sounds kind of elementary, but it was just weird how some of the Republicans were also like upset about my press releases. I'm like, we should be talking about these issues. Like, why are we so afraid?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like they're literally destroying the state. Oregon, I always talk about this. Oregon is the Saudi Arabia of wood. When we were a timber state and logging, our forests were not turned into a perennial ashtray. Under Cape Brown, I mean, the skies were literally blood red, like out of a horror movie. And the air was so dirty that scientists didn't even know what it means for human health. I think around 30 is on the index is dangerous. This was in like the 800s. It was the dirtiest air literally in the world. We're also importing wood from China and Canada. So you tell me, we were nearly Great Depression proof, and now we're 50th in the nation for virtually almost every single statistic. So, I was blowing them up. I was pointing out the fact that they're allowing illegal aliens to get out of prison to go on and continue doing more crimes. Like they're out raping grandmas and raping kids and trafficking, everything they can traffic, they traffic. We have narco terrorists from Venezuela in Oregon. And so many of the Republicans just want to like talk about affordability, homelessness, addiction. It's like those are the talking points the left hits on, and by the way, has failed to address. I had one reporter recently ask me, like, something about like, well, you don't stand up for low income people, or you've been critical of the Democrats for talking about low income, whatever, and how are you going to be a good representative for them? I was like, well, are they still low income? Because if you're saying you're fighting for low income people and they stay low income, I don't really think you're helping them much. The best way out of low income is prosperity, opportunity, innovation. I mean, if we had a ton of mills pop up and a bunch of logging operations go up, that's a lot of jobs and people can make good money. I mean, there are car dealerships where technicians are trained there. This is predominantly in Central Oregon, but they get training that they need to have a high paying job. They are making more money than attorneys and doctors.
So they don't have logging at all anymore. A lot of our viewers are not in Oregon, so they might not know the ins and outs of the logging industry. Did they just stop
Sure.
it, or is it like overregulated, or?
It's extremely overregulated, and
Yeah.
I have notes here. So where is this? So there's a Chinese billionaire who owns about 200,000 acres of prime Oregon timberland in Deschutes and Klamath counties,
No.
right in our backyard,
That's
near
not good.
military assets and critical infrastructure. So that's nearly half of all Chinese-owned U.S. farmland, and it's a spy base, basically. Balloons, land grabs, ports compromised. Oregon is ground zero for infiltration by the Chinese Communist Party, and you have Republicans who are like, oh, it's okay. The Oregon China Council is fine. Kate Brown was, basically on a leash for the Chinese Communist Party. Well, so when I was working at the Capitol, I would talk about all of this. And, I used to call it the Shut Up Club because it's a bipartisan club of these people that want to keep everything so and don't talk about anything. So then I worked on some campaigns. I worked down in Texas for 3 months doing door knocking for clients for this firm, a Republican slate. I think it had everything from like state legislators down to county stuff. But then I went back to the Oregon Capitol, and also, I mean, most people, if they want to get jobs like in politics, they have to either work for shitty candidates or they have to move to out of state. I've had some friends in Oregon that have lived all over, just like I have, for work. It's pretty common for political staff and operatives strategists to live out of a suitcase, basically. And, you know, one consultant was talking about how they just got so sick of packing up and moving around the country for all these campaigns, and you just had to figure out, you know, where you're going to settle down. So I've always loved Oregon, and so I came back to Oregon for the 2019 session, and this is when it started getting even crazier for me, I think, politically and in my career. So I went back and I was working for a conservative group of the legislators, particularly Senator Kim Thatcher and Senator Dennis Linthicum. And that session, I mean, it's just like they get crazier and crazier every year. And so there were a couple big bills that I helped defeat. There was a package of gun control bills. I call it disarmament. I think disarmament is inviting violence. So I worked with Raiden Weapons. They did a huge push, financial push. I did a lot of the messaging. I was in one of their ads that we also targeted, geofenced in all these important areas. And I had a huge rally. I think it was probably one of the biggest turnouts in Oregon history up until the BLM protest the following year. And, you know, we killed every single gun bill in a blue state with Kate Brown as governor. That's huge. And I don't see that kind of work coming out of Salem. Almost everyone that's running for governor is running on failing to stop the Democrats.
I can't imagine that.
I don't get it.
We have open carry.
Yeah. And, I mean, you have Portland city councilors, like this one lady. I forgot which one it was, because I think they all grouped up together or whatever. But they want to be able to carry. So these wacky liberals are all of a sudden like, oh, I want to be able to carry so I can shoot my constituents because if they freak me out too much or they're intimidating. You know, it's really wild what they consider intimidation or what they consider bullying behavior or abusive behavior, because Tina Kotek follows people into the bathroom and harasses them. We have Elizabeth Steiner Hayward, the current treasurer, who was rewarded to being the treasurer. She was a senator when I was in the Senate. And
Tommy's favorite, Maxine Dexter.
Oh yeah,
he
crazy too, and they're all part of this like Emerge Oregon. It's like this coven for the left. But Elizabeth Steiner Hayward, she screamed at me during the abortion free-for-all bill and smacked her hand on the wall like a psycho. Her eyes were all googly-eyed, like those little sticker eyes that kids put in class.
Oh, the good.
Yeah, no. So I asked her, I cornered her rhetorically because she got jumbled up. But I told her, I was like, why did you include illegal aliens in this abortion bill? And when she smacked her hand against the wall, she said, because they came here to work.
That's so pathetic.
That doesn't even make sense.
That is wicked. She also was involved in ignoring the state's foster care program. So back to being, forward to 2019, I worked on the gun bills. Well, I also fought House Bill 3063. That was the Forcible Injections Act. That's what I called it. It was a vaccine mandate schedule for children as a condition of participating in public life. Extreme. It was like dozens and dozens of vaccinations on a very strict schedule and getting rid of exemptions. Some people need exemptions. Somebody that's actually practicing medicine and not some like pharma witchcraft is going to give out exemptions. So I worked with all of the mothers that were protesting this bill across the political spectrum. I mean, we had people that were far left, we had people that were far right, everything in between. And our protests that we were doing constantly that session, also fighting cap and trade, um, they were huge. And so we ended up defeating that vaccine bill. I worked with the Slavic community. They gifted me one of the Matryoshka dolls. Russian is like the hardest language to speak. I've tried. I grew up with my best friend. He's Ukrainian, and I always try to learn, and it's just so hard. So I don't know if I pronounced it exactly correct, but that's the doll, the stacking dolls, and that represents motherhood.
Like the
And
the nesting dolls.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the Slavic community sent me this beautiful gift, and beautiful card saying thank you for helping us get involved politically. And then out of that, they ended up starting their own group called Slavic Vote, which took off. We have a big Slavic community in our state and in the district. So one of the other things that session that I worked on was helping expose the state's insidious foster care. I don't think you can really call it that. I think it's a state custody system.
Which is the perfect
And
alternative to abortion.
well,
Is
this
to
is
like beef up the foster care, like and the adoption and all that stuff is.
well, no. So our foster care system is anything but foster or care. So the state disproportionately takes kids out of homes in Oregon. There's been even issues with kids and CPS if the parents don't respect the pronouns and stuff like that. But what happened that session, it blew up that the state of Oregon was shipping these children across state lines to a network of very dark psychiatric type facilities that make hundreds of millions of dollars, where kids are systematically abused, tortured, where there was one facility that had a rape room with blood smeared all over the walls. There was a facility where kids were being forced to make uniforms for athletes and first responders for a for-profit company next door to a prison campus where the prisoners, once they're released, go and become staff at the facility. This was the Clarinda Academy. This is big money involved. The founder of Jiffy Lube had a sudden interest, apparently, in at-risk kids, decides to, it's a really freaky network of like, I don't know how these are even legal. I really don't. I mean, it's just like, and then you have the state of Oregon paying for what they call child monitors to stay the night with foster children, where they get to be paid to do so. And
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that sounds
yes, and it's
horrible.
funded by, so taxpayers pay for all of that, right, on the front end. On the back end, the state was investing the public employee retirement benefit system funds into those same facilities they were sending kids.
What are some of the when you get elected and you go? I guess I would assume you're going to Washington if you get elected. What are some of the first things on your agenda?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, here, let me get this other list pulled up so I don't miss anything. So first of all, I mean, the biggest thing is timber. We have to get timber back up and going, stripping all these regulations, creating federal grant programs, getting jobs training so people can go from having zero knowledge base to being able to make six figures working in timber.
Yeah.
That's got to be the number one issue.
Get them right out of high school and stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Trade
Yeah.
schools.
The other thing is, well, we have to do massive reform when it comes to how we fight fires. We are not allowing innovation, the firefighter industrial complex, you can call it. There is incentive for people to let the forest burn. And there's also the whole issue with, my God, everything is a mess, with how we fight fire. So there was this guy that was working on a way to, I'm trying to think of where to start. So you can see them online. You can pull them up like on YouTube. You can see these balls that are filled with whatever materials. to put out fires instantly, so that when they get too hot, they explode. So people will like show them off in a dumpster fire, and you can see how they get put out instantly.
Oh,
So you
I
can
know what
set
you're
these
talking
up all
about. I've
around
seen
your.
Does it
them.
like suck the oxygen out of it or something? It must do something
I don't
scientific.
remember all the details on
It's
the
just a ball.
mechanics of how it
Well, it's
works.
just like powder from. It's like
Yeah.
powder, like what's in a fire extinguisher, just in a ball that explodes. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, and there's
oh.
also fertilizer, I think,
Hmm.
is used. So if you, instead of just have these in homes, have them hooked up to ICBMs and you blast the fires with ICBMs with this material, it would instantly put out a fire.
Oh.
It would also make a lot of people don't like disruption in jobs. And it's like, well, of course, because they want to keep their job. But if we're keeping jobs like that, and the way we do them at the expense of lives and forests, I think we need to fix that. The other thing is the number one victim of fires, dying in fires, home fires, is moms, because moms will go run back in the house to save the cat or save the family heirlooms, whatever, and then they die. We also, our building codes are all completely fucked up too. If you look at how all of our furniture is produced, I mean, we use all these like artificial fibers and everything. It's just like everything is so hellish and nightmarish. It's like it's hard to take seriously everything. When people say, "Oh, the system's broken," no, it's not. This is a very well-oiled intentional decline that we've seen, because we have regulatory capture, we have foreign capture, we have all these issues. But the other thing I think we need to get into is restoring law and order, because we're being driven down into the ground. Our brand, as Oregon's brand, is terrible. Our Portland, and the thing is when Portland does well, the state does well. And so we need a massive crackdown. We have
Did you see what
Antifa
did you
thugs.
see what they did to the ice building? I'm
Yeah, it's
putting up a
disgusting.
picture here. I don't know if you can see it on your screen
Yeah.
there, but I'm putting a couple pictures of the ice building. They tore it the hell up, and they kicked open the gate. They threw rocks. They spray painted all up inside the building. I mean, we have several pictures here. Die scum. I don't know if have you ever watched any of the live streams from the ice out there with all the frogs and the Antifa, and it's insanity. What do you think at your congressional level you could do to help that?
Well, one, I'd be pushing Trump to crack down on this as hard as humanly possible.
So you like Trump?
I do. I've always had like
I don't
some
know.
issue once in a while here or there, but the thing is he's our president. So whatever
Yeah.
policy issues people have with him, he's our president. We need to see him do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not perfect, but
No-
he's trying. You know, we
nobody's
don't agree with
perfect.
everything he does, but you know, we know he cares about America. You know.
Well, the other thing is my gripes with him are pretty much from the right. You know, I want to see more limited government, more fiscal restraint.
He's not doing enough.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
In
it's
some
kind of
areas, he's
hard
not.
for him, I think, to get things done, and also
I
some of
thought
these
he was a
structural
king. I thought he was a king though.
Well, interestingly enough, about the king issue, so we saw a huge, massive, foreign-funded, corrupt movement, No Kings. Everyone thinks it's about Trump being a king and all these people. It's not. It was right after the Christ is King went viral and got a ton of support, and it was like trending everywhere. All of a sudden, then right after that, there's a No Kings protest, and they get everybody like projecting no kings, no kings, no kings.
So you
It is satanic.
so you think that the No Kings protest could be like a No Jesus protest, like almost. I mean,
It's
that's to put words in your mouth
satanic,
by just saying.
subversive. These people are satanic.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, Republicans in Oregon are uncomfortable with people speaking
not
out
wrong,
about
yeah.
this
You're
stuff.
not wrong.
It's like, well, and the other issue is Oregon is the #1 secular state. I don't know if that stat has changed in the last year or two, but I mean, you can tell that it probably is. But when you have a state that's completely turned its back on God and
Yeah.
ethics, that's why our stats are low. I mean, it's not rocket science. So I think having a huge crackdown, I want to see these people denaturalized and deported.
Yeah.
If you're here illegally and you want to like, I mean, I know there's people that have come over or they were born here or their parents came over and they're just wanting to work. Well, we have to figuring out that because that's still taking away jobs from people and taking away
Yeah.
resources, and that's not fair. But especially if you're committing fraud, Janelle Bynum voted no on the Deport Fraudsters Act, and it's like if people think what's going on in Minnesota is bad, which by the way, the amount of fraud in Minnesota was at least up until a week or two ago was more money in fraud than the strikes in Iran have cost us.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
they're
just
just
one
trying to
state.
push it off.
That is
Yeah.
one state.
That's
And that's just
crazy.
what we know of so far. Well, guess what? There is the same type of fraud going on in Oregon. We have Somalian Senate Majority Leader, the highest ranked Democrat in the state, is from Somalia, in bed with the same people as Ilhan Omar.
I didn't know that.
He's
That's
the one
what I
that said,
just seen him on the news saying some dumb shit the other day. Saying some dumb shit. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Wait, is his name Shri or something?
No, it's Casey Jama.
Casey Jama. Oh, there's another guy.
Kayse.
I actually saw his picture on your X. There's another guy, Shri Lanka. Oh, forgot his name.
Can you tell us what you plan on about sanctuary cities? I don't know how much you would be able to do, but what is your opinions on sanctuary cities and getting them ended?
Well, I think you have to take federal action to defund. And also, I think at some point, if these people are using their offices to subvert the federal government, I would call for them to face legal penalties. And I'm not just talking financial.
Nope.
You can't have. I don't understand. And I think this sounds extreme to some people apparently in Oregon, but we're looking at basically what you see when civil wars break out. And I'm not I don't want to see that. I am not an accelerationist. I think that we have to take serious action to crack down on these sanctuary states and cities because what they're doing is undermining the fabric of our country. And they're using all this fraud to buy political favors. It's all connected because the fraud is going to overseas or south of the border. So we're basically funding terrorism through these fake nonprofits that are fraudulent. All these daycares. And in Oregon, I think that we see legislators siphoning tax dollars to all these nonprofits that they're either on the board for or connected to, or they set up themselves. It's sick. And so when you have all this money tied up in fraud, I mean, you need to arrest these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, the
They
police don't arrest anybody. Their hands are tied from above. That's what we think.
Well, I want to see if people think that Trump having a crackdown in Portland is tough. No, it needs to be tougher. Because the thing is when you allow them to make it look like they're just hopping around and blow up costumes,
well, that's why they do that. That's why they do the costumes.
They're attacking people and they get away with it. If you're a Republican and you punch someone, you're gonna get the book thrown at you.
Look what they did.
You want to see what they did to me?
Look.
Yeah. No one should have to be going through that. I mean, you guys know full well. You've watched the ICE facilities.
Well, Tommy got jumped by 10 of them. He just got literally last.
They gave me a concussion and everything. Yeah.
Literally last Thursday, we have a Thursday panel show where we just kind of have friends hanging out. He left during it to go save Katie Davis Court. She was getting rocks thrown at her car, and they bear maced him this far from his eye. He was almost blinded.
My eyeball.
Yep.
Yeah,
last week. Bad. I mean, they terrorized. They rip stop signs up and just take them. They destroyed the building. They ride on cars as they exit the ICE facility. They commit crimes. They burn the American flag every single. They're gonna burn one tonight, I'm sure. Every single day out there, they burn an American flag.
Yeah,
on government property.
Yeah, that cannot be allowed. But yeah, no, I would say you have to defund them. Defund them and then impeach the judges that are helping shield criminal aliens and these corrupt immoral, unethical judges that need to be impeached. One of the big things I first came out with when I was running, I was like, I want a special committee. There's like the church committee, is what it was called, that uncovered all of the intelligence shenanigans going on. This was back, I think, in the 60s or 70s. But you can set up a specific new type of committee that's job is only to investigate state capture, using the power of Congress and oversight to haul these people in before Congress and answer questions. Because I guarantee you, these people, a lot of people I think in politics are like, oh, the Democrats are stupid, or they're incompetent leaders and failed leaders, whatever. These people know what they're doing. Either they're unwitting pawns and they're just so stupid. I don't really think that's more. I think more of them know exactly what they're doing. And so they need to be federally investigated, hauled before the American people, and exposed. Shining a light into the catacombs of Oregon's corruption can be done, but it's not just in Oregon, it's all over the country. So I want a new committee set up that's pure job is only to, investigate and chase down every rabbit hole to get these people held accountable, because what they're doing is treasonous.
Yeah.
I would.
think the Republicans are a lot to blame out here in Oregon too. They're way too passive. They've gotten way too comfortable in their little jobs, and they're not out. Like, I like your I like your attitude. I like how you don't hold back. And it really resonated with me at that David Medina at the governor thing. That's why we wanted to have you on the show, because you really like everything you were saying. It gave me goosebumps. It really resonated. So
yeah, we were all live.
Get your voice out. Yeah,
we were all live when you were speaking, so we all liked you immediately.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I mean, one of the things that I get the most on my social media that's recurring is that they wish that I was running in their district or in their state. I can't run everywhere. But the other thing that's kind of funny is
are people allowed?
How many people? What?
No, go ahead.
How many people have said that they wish that I was running for governor?
Well, you're still really young. You guys make me feel so old. You're still really young. You have a lot of time. You can still do that in some point.
Yeah, I'm 36, so it's.
I know
for me.
You're so young.
What?
That's so young. You have so much time left.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, governor. First of all, I don't know why people think that this governor's race is going to be a slam dunk. I mean, Tina Kotek is literally the most unpopular governor. She's a clown. She's very unserious as a person. She was a terrible legislator. I once got her to break a phone over one of my press releases because I called one of her tax plans Tina's tax heist. And I sent out a press release talking about her threatening to blow up the transportation package over her small mom and pop business tax beatdown. Just, they can never get enough money out of these people. Taxes. Tax. They're like stacking 18 levels of tax on buildings, and just, it is so corrupt. And, it's just, sometimes I'm like, there's so much to say, it's hard to organize.
Yeah,
because it's just Tina is much more dangerous as a governor than people realize.
But she's Janelle Bynum too. I was looking her up earlier. She's she thinks that Portland's biggest problem is a lack of diversity.
Well, she can thank her own party if she doesn't think it's diverse enough, because it was Oregon Democrats that actually were institutionalizing racist policies back way back. So there was a Democrat, Peter Burnett from Missouri, who's a lawyer. He became a state senator in Oregon as a Democrat. He was extremely racist against Black people. He was instrumental in setting up the state's lash laws. Then he went down to California, where he became the first governor of California. And in his first State of the State address, he called for the outright extermination of all Native Americans. And he worked with the National Guard, or with the Army, I think, one of those two, to set up the state's militias. Then the state went so far into debt, paying out bounties on the heads of Native Americans, that the state had to get a federal bailout. And the congressman that was instrumental in setting that up, he was eventually the Secretary of State for the Confederate forces. So the Democrats in Oregon have carried those policies through. I will tell you, I have never seen everyone in Salem on the same page as fast as when I was pointing out the tobacco tax being bad for Black Oregonians. Janelle Bynum was there when I was sent out this press release. Erica Garner, the wife of Eric Garner, who was, involved in a police brutality issue, and he lost his life. He was the one who said, "I can't breathe." So Erica Garner said it was because of the tax policies, because it drives up the black market for Lucy cigarettes because people can't afford to buy a whole pack. And so they'll buy loose cigarettes, and then the police have to get involved because they're forced to enforce that law, again, by Democrats. And Rand Paul talked about this on CNN. So I remembered this from way back when that happened, and they're passing this tobacco tax hike in Oregon at the time to backfill the Oregon Health Authority's budget. And I said that there was a nexus between this policy and harm to that community. And the Senate Republicans joined the Senate Democrats, the House Republicans joined the House Democrats, all sending out statements slamming me and Senator Linthicum. And I was like, oh, they do not want people telling the truth that their policies are harmful to Black Oregonians. And again, Janelle Bynum, I don't care how many fake nonprofits say that she's representing Black Oregonians better than anybody else could. She hasn't. She's failed them. And there was a Black mother who was at the ICE facility screaming at these punks to, that she needs sleep, and that all the people who live around there need sleep, and they can't sleep before going to work because of all this racket and rioting. And I don't think Janelle Bynum's doing a very good job representing that Black mother. She's representing the white Antifa punks that won't stop rioting. So if we articulate that, and by the way, people want to say, oh, you're being racist because I said that Janelle Bynum acts like she's representing Compton, not Clackamas. And that's because Maxine Waters is representing Compton. Well, Maxine Waters can get away with
she's a dumbass.
Surround them.
Yeah, she's a dumbass. I don't like her at all.
I don't think most people in America like Maxine Waters, but when you're calling for creating a crowd and surround them and making sure that they're not welcome anywhere, we saw what happened after Maxine Waters spurned that. But she represents a very safe district representing Compton.
Yeah, I have
Janelle Bynum is not safe in a purple seat to be talking like that.
No.
I don't think that mothers in Clackamas County or any of the other counties.
I think a lot of the people in Portland and around the Oregon, area, they watch these protests in droves. I mean, we have maybe sometimes 30, 40,000 people in one night throughout all of our streams every single night. And I think one of the things that I keep seeing in the chat, reoccurring thing is, they just want to make sure that they're going to elect someone who is all about the MAGA movement and America first, and not necessarily up Trump's ass, because to me it's way bigger than him. He might have been the catalyst that started that, but it's going to be around way beyond Trump. Would you consider, if somebody asked you if you're a part of the MAGA movement, what's your answer to that question?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Because you have to look at this. I mean, there's different factions of our party. You have the America First kind of drift away from what people would say is MAGA. The thing is some of these people, I saw Tucker Carlson do a recent interview, and I was just like, what is happening in this world?
I know he's kind of crashed out. Yeah, he's crashed out.
The thing is Trump is better than any of the alternative. I mean, I think Kamala Harris would have been a disaster.
Oh, every city would look like Portland or on crack. It'd be horrible.
I mean, it's really rich to see people slamming Trump over the issue of Iran. Because frankly, we've been at war with Iran for 47 years.
Well, they've killed multiple soldiers. They've killed soldiers on our bases over the last couple of years. They've done like secret operations and
Iran's been wanting
yeah.
to take out America for years, 47 years. Trump's
And
just
so-
trying to keep America and the Iranians safe.
See, and
But
they
The
I don't know.
Persians do not want to be dominated by radical Islamists.
they've been
No,
they've been
don't.
dominated for so
Persians
long.
are like not their Persians love Trump because of what he's doing. And he's just
Oh, yeah.
basically helping the Persian people. He's not
Yeah.
doing regime change. That's for the Persians to decide.
Right.
It's for Persians to decide how they will be governed.
They
It's not for anybody else.
They were literally doing rallies celebrating. We was going every Sunday at Pioneer Square. A bunch of Iranian Americans would show up there and celebrate and say, "Thank you, Trump." And
Tell him the other part.
Yeah.
Tell them the rest of that. Who showed up?
Oh yeah, Antifa always shows up.
Antifa showed up to protest Iranians happy.
Yeah. But that's to be expected with these people.
Well, they're in league. They're in league with very dangerous, sick people.
Hey,
The protests against that were on all the college campuses, particularly Columbia University, those were funded by a group whose leader is married to the PR person for the Chinese Communist Party. I don't recall her name. She's like one of those fake nonprofits, Women for Peace, I think is what it was. So Antifa is helping
push that agenda.
They're pushing that agenda. The thing is radical Islamic jihadists also work with Tren de Aragua
right.
and the cartels.
Yep.
And then it's just like we have this like new axis of evil that's like so many different entities involved in so many different parts of that. And so really, I mean, that's the other reason why the Somalian fraud is such a problem, because the Somalian fraud is going to Somalia.
I'm sure you watched Nick Shirley. I'm sure you watched Nick Shirley's expose.
But that money's winding up in helping build up Somalia on the border of Somalia and Somaliland. Somaliland was recognized as a state by Israel.
I watched the whole video. I know exactly what you're saying. Yep.
And that's at a very important spot geographically for combating these people. So again, everything is so interconnected, and I think we need a member of Congress representing Oregon who understands these things and is going to be able to go in and be a congressman. My primary opponent can hardly do an interview to save her life. Her Patty Adair, we can go over her stuff. So she retired from Malibu, selling her, $7 million home to come to Oregon, where she was born, but she lived most of her adult life in Malibu. And she is pro-tax, pro-vax mandates. She's supported with Janelle Bynum and the chief sponsor of House Bill 3063, the Forcible Injections Act. And she also switched her vote on destination resort restrictions to favor big developers. Apparently she pissed off the tribes too. And she doesn't even really have name ID, even in her own neck of the woods. I was in Bend and I talked to multiple Republican voters who did not even know who she was. So she may be part of Christine Drazen's little coven in whatever, have like her friends blocking me from speaking at events. But I have people at some of the events that I've been blocked from speaking coming to me and coming to the other events that I've been at, telling me like she cannot be our candidate. She did one event with Ed Deal, who's running for governor, and it was after that event, apparently he was like, I don't want her at any more of my events, because she literally performed so poorly. But she bragged about making Deschutes County the #1 county for people moving from California, which I don't think is very popular with Oregonians.
No. I came from California, but no, we don't need Oregon to be even worse. I don't, no.
No, and I don't understand, like in Oregon, like some of these like rhino liberals, they hide behind supporting Trump. They have nothing that they disagree with him on at all, because they're so cynical. They think that will get people to vote for them.
Yeah.
She, like
GDS.
David Brock Smith is running for the U.S. Senate. He is linked to Chinese interests. He takes photos where he's, grinning like a weirdo with Tina Kotek. Why would any Republican be doing that? He's running for the U.S. Senate. One of his first campaign ads, he was telling everyone that we need to bring the temperature down. No, we need to crank the temperature up in Oregon on these people that are destroying the state. She's in that little club of weird legislators that have secretly gutted the state Republican platform of all MAGA policies, along with State Representative Kevin Mannix, who used to be a Democrat and is now a fake Republican. He was one of the only people, Republican, I think he's the only Republican to support a resolution supporting Black drag queens and was there cheering on the performance at the Capitol. And he also was trying to regulate fertility treatments for women against being against that. And then he gave them quorum so that they could pass the most recent gun bill. That's who sponsors Patty Adair. Christine Drazen, who up until very recently had a D score from CPAC. And it's like these people, they'll take a photo with, let's just say, a Mark Wayne Mullen. Patty Adair and David Brock Smith both posted a picture with Mark Wayne Mullen. If Mark Wayne Mullen was working in Oregon in the Senate, these people would crucify him as being too right wing and too this and too that, and he needs to calm down. But because they can take a photo with him, where he probably doesn't even know who the hell they are, at these VIP events that they pay for the tickets so they can get a photo with them, which there's nothing wrong inherently with that, but they're not aligned with the people that they post their pictures like they're at school picture day. So they use that as little like emblems to serve as a decoy for what they're actually doing when the doors close in these backroom deals and these, dealing with Democrats. Like, people need to like start really looking at people's voting records and seeing what they're voting for. I mean, Christine Drazen, who's running for governor, voted to put tampons in boys' bathrooms. Like,
Tim Walz.
No. I have a
I mean, when you look at some of these Republicans' voting records, I mean, Patty Adair supported tax hikes. She supported the vaccine mandate that I helped kill. I don't want to take total credit for that, but is a lot of moms is actually who helped kill that. But, switching her vote to the destination resorts. She also voted for paving over farmland, and then just is like, oh, whatever. She doesn't even post policy issues on her congressional page. And her voter pamphlet statement reads like this milk toast, like not going to really take any conservative positions on everything. We cannot win an election without staking our claim. Like when I was knocking doors, I talked to this woman who is actually the grandmother in the family. Her kids live at the home that we were going to door knock. And she was like outraged about Trump. She's like bashing him. And the other person walking doors with me was like, oh, this is the candidate, pointing to me because I walked around the car to see what was going on. And she was like, you're the candidate? I'm like, yes, I'm a Republican. And she was just like, oh, well, I'm not affiliated. I'm a non-affiliated voter. That's kind of what other states have, is like an independent. They're not registered with any party. In Oregon, we have non-affiliated voters that don't, are not part of any political party. We actually have a separate independent party, which is basically pretty left of center from my understanding. But anyway, she's like, what is this about protecting women's sports? What do you mean? And I was just like, well, I don't know if you're going to like what I have to say. Based on what she was saying before.
We'll all like it. What just happened?
Just about keeping sports.
Yeah.
And she was just like, thank you. Finally, someone just, says it. So I think we actually can gain a lot of ground if we talk about the actual issues. Most people are actually conservative. I think everyday Americans are more conservative than liberal. But if you don't have candidates that speak to those issues, they're not going to turn out to vote. We have a voting problem with Republicans in Oregon not turning out to vote. And I'm like, well, if you keep on running bad candidates that are basically liberal or JV Democrats, they're not going to turn out to vote. And we have to get them fired up, get them excited. I've done that. I think I've seen over the course of my campaign people really feeling that Oregon revival energy that I've been talking about. I mean, that's what I made my campaign slogan is Oregon revival, because it also, the initials are the same as the state's initials.
You can hear us okay? Everything's good? Because I think that maybe your opponent's attacking our stream or something. Everything just disappeared for just a quick second. Everything's good now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, we just blinked off for just a quick second. I think maybe it's the aliens. I don't know.
No. But
can you tell us your stance on the radical trans ideology? I know you talked about it at the last meetup, but can you tell us your stance on the radical trans ideology being pushed in like our schools and churches and pretty much everywhere, especially in Oregon and California?
Yeah, it was very shocking at one of the Oregon gubernatorial forums. There was one candidate, I don't even remember her name, who I don't even know why she's running as a Republican. She was talking about how she wants to set up a trans district. She's like, we have a lot of drag queens in Portland. I was just like, Portland is a trans district. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't need to make it anything. It already is. I think that what I see sometimes from the right is not always the best messaging on this issue. I think what I see is a lot of suffering. And I see a lot of kids that are being ushered down a very dangerous pathway where there is irreversible harm done to these kids. You know, I wasn't the most I'm still probably in some people's eyes not very masculine, looking, whatever. When I was a kid, I wasn't playing the same sports as other kids. Like, I was a swimmer and I liked tennis and croquet, and I think that there's kids, kids today. I used to host a croquet and rosé thing in at one of these parks where I live by, for me and my friends. But anyway, I worry that if there's a kid like I was when I was 5 being adopted by 2 like political lesbians or political weirdos in Portland, that some kid like me is being ushered down. Oops, sorry. It's like my knock something over, but backing up. It's like, I worry that there are kids today being ushered down this path. Like, if you have, like, we used to have what people would call like a tomboy, like girls that, wanted to play like softball and, roughhouse with the boys,
play tag and
and maybe they had like 3 older brothers and like, some little girl like that is now being told, oh, you're actually a boy.
I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I really care about this subject so much. I know I live in Texas, so it's still kind of a part. I mean, it's sort of like nationwide at this point. The little communities here and there pop up, but you guys have it bad with that.
Yeah.
I don't generally.
Yeah, we do. And the schools being, first of all, the schools should not be involved in your kid's personal life like that.
No. They're there to teach them how to read,
right?
It
starts to get like more creepy. If you have kids being sexualized at a young age, it makes them like prey for these twisted people. And in Portland, public schools are a hotbed for this kind of shit.
They don't have the American flag up no more. They have the trans flag, and they don't say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can you do something about that? Can you do something about the kids not saying the pledge? Because they say it here. It's weird. We have a Texas pledge even.
Well, you could make a bill to, take on the schools that don't do that. I mean, I don't know why they can't do it. Make it a federal mandate as a condition of receiving federal funds. You can do a lot by the word defund.
Right. There is one thing I want to
defund that, defund. We have to just defund everything that's, contributing to the problem. It's like, if you want to go be crazy, we're going to take the purse from you.
Yep.
Congress has the power of the purse, right?
Absolutely.
I think Trump should absolutely defund the radical transing of our kids. Like,
Mhm.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
And also,
I totally agree with it.
I've done research all over the country, Minneapolis, all over New York, Los Angeles, everywhere that they have riots and these No Kings protests. And I'm going to tell you something that you may or may not know. Portland, Oregon has the most organized section of Antifa in the whole country. I've seen other places. These guys have training. They have flyers. They all get together. They're chanting the same thing. They practice this stuff. Is there any way when you do get to Congress that you can get them to they need to make an example out of one group of Antifa since how they're domestic terrorists. And I think we got the perfect group to hand over.
Yeah,
They're
I think we do
organized.
need
They
to.
got a leader and everything.
Well, they need to be investigated because I guarantee you that what we see is just the tip of the iceberg with these people. And if you're in league with foreign terrorists, the penalty for that is quite steep. I also, as far as the trafficking goes, I don't call it sex trafficking. It is rape trafficking. They are not trafficking sex. Sex is consensual between two people. This is rape. And they are getting away with it. They need to be hung. I want the death penalty for rape traffickers because what they're doing is so evil and demented. I mean, the stuff that has come out in recent time like just proves that people were right. They call everybody conspiracy theorists. But no, we need to like use the full force of the federal government to take down the people that are,
If the sound's not working,
subversive
refresh the stream. Sorry, hold on. If the sound's not working, guys, YouTube's been goofy. Just refresh the stream, come back in, refresh everything. Okay.
Just glitched out for me too for a second, but it's fine now.
Is it okay now? Polly, is it okay? Sorry, it's my mod. The stream is being refresh. The stream is being attacked. Oh, you're a popular guy. This is our first attack. Yay.
It's just the service.
Okay, we're good. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. But no, I think that we have to. One of the things that's come up in the campaign as I've like traveled all over the district is that let's see, is that people are just so bored with the GOP in Oregon. Like the messaging is boring. I'm sorry, we can't flip seats if people are not excited. They're not energized. Like that is a very important thing. The other thing is like we need to message to younger generations. Young people are not almost an afterthought by people in this party.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't get Trump there to do a rally or something with you.
Yeah, and we also need to have pick a gubernatorial candidate who will stand up for these values. I mean, I've seen.
I was going to ask you who out of like David Medina and who's running for governor, who I don't know if you could say, but who would you put your money on? Like, who are you planning on voting for?
Have you just endorsed anybody?
No, I have not endorsed anyone.
David Medina.
I like what I see out of David Medina and his campaign. I think he was the first gubernatorial candidate that I was like actually excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he can pull it off.
It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one.
Definitely. Yeah. He's also been blocked.
We'd love to have him on the show, so hopefully we can get him some exposure too.
He was blocked for what?
So the requirements that they had to be a part of certain debates was like intentionally to make it so that David was not able to participate because you had to raise like 500,000 and it had to be from 250 different donors. It's like, so if you had raised like 400,000 or had 200 donors, then you wouldn't be able to participate.
What?
And then it wasn't even a real debate. It was just a pointless forum where they say the same speech that they've given everywhere else. I mean, I literally can recite Christine Drazen's speech.
And this was the Republican. That's so sad, dude.
I will say David's probably the most conservative.
Yeah.
Ed Deal has, the fanfare from the gas tax.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to have a moderate, which is pretty much anyone but David, I want it to be an outsider. So for me, it's David or Dudley. I hope that one of them, the two of them, really pulls it off. Ed Deal's done a decent job in Salem compared to some of the other Republicans. So I get why people are excited about his campaign. But Dudley's campaign has been like standing actually, I think, more on conservative issues like protecting girls' sports. You know, people I think kind of say, oh, he's too moderate. It's like, compared to whom? He's actually, he came out against, from what I saw on Facebook, Dudley came out against the radical vaccine mandates. He also does not support the late term and crazy abortion laws that we have here. Christine Drazen would keep them the same. So Christine Drazen is equal to Kate Brown on that issue. But then she's also sponsored by Right to Life, Oregon Right to Life. Oregon Right to Life endorses pro-choice candidates.
Yeah.
And the young Republicans of Oregon, the young Republicans of Oregon have been captured as well. They have been hired by Patty Adair, so they endorsed her. So the young Republicans of Oregon endorsed the oldest freshman congressional candidate in the country instead of the millennial Republican with a resume like a million miles long, with proven actual success in politics in blue states. That is not a lot of people can say that. Certainly not out west. You know, and so like the thing is like I went to Georgetown University for my master's degree in public relations and corporate communications. And that is the #1 PR program in the country almost every year. So it's like the Yale of public relations training. Yeah. And, you know, then I've been in law school. I went to the Santa Clara University. I'm also taking a class at Willamette Law. I finished in a couple weeks with the semester and walk for my graduation with my JD just days after the primary is over. So May is a big month for me.
You really don't get no sleep. You weren't playing when you said that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, it's good that you take some time to have a little fun here and there. You have to refresh.
Well, I'm so excited for 4th of July this year. 4th of July is probably my favorite holiday, except for Thanksgiving.
I have a question. Are y'all going to be participating? I don't know how it works there. Are you going to have some sort of debate or some sort of on-screen anything with your opponent before the election, or is just grassroots and that's it?
No, so Patty Adair will not debate me. She won't do it.
Yeah, I have figures.
You're very intelligent. You can conduct yourself very well. So I can see why somebody like that would be intimidated to actually have a conversation.
I'd be
point to point with you. You know, I can understand it.
She can't.
She can't.
She can't. I mean, she literally can't. I mean, I've been present for I think 2 of her speeches. There's not a lot there. Her website touts like her personal bio, being, you know, born in Oregon, but doesn't like talk about, you know, any actual substance policy wise or anything like that. The other thing too is it's to me it does a disservice for voters. It does a disservice to our party to not have fair and transparent primaries. People need to be able to hear, compare and contrast. You know, it's really funny. Patty's people, which is not a huge number, they talk about how, you know, I'm attacking her. Seeing her voting record is not attacking her. I'm not like criticizing her parenting job or her marriage or getting involved in her personal life. Like I have no idea about any of that because I literally don't care about it. It's none of my business. It's nobody else's business.
They're the side that takes it personal. They do that. Yeah. We don't do that.
Exactly.
We don't do that.
Yes.
They think you having a different opinion than them and you saying something about it is attacking them. You know?
That's what they did at the Capitol to me too.
They literally will physically attack and call it whatever they want. You know, it's so crazy.
I have a theory that the liberals have created this mindset that if they strongly believe something, enough that it becomes a proven fact.
Yeah.
It is.
That's so.
And I think there's just a logic gap too. It's like, don't you want to debate your political opponent?
Yeah.
Would
Don't you
you-
want to get
you
your
know?
message out?
Would you wanna
your
show-
ideology out?
Well, wouldn't you want to
Yeah,
show
But
that
I
you
will,
are
I
the-
will tell you too, more if you monetize, if you put a monetary amount, if you had like an actuary figure it out or somebody, how much like actual sweat equity has gone into my campaign, whether it's my 15-year resume, to hire that for a campaign would cost a lot of money. And I've been at it since November. Then you have the person who does my videos, Kyle. He's been very helpful. He's a professional. That's what he did for a living. And then I have a researcher who's helped me research a lot of stuff. She is all that would cost a lot of money as well. Then you have another consultant who's helped me. I mean, the list goes on, and all the volunteers that are a part of my campaign. So I think if you actually looked at how much has gone into my campaign, it shows that I'm actually running an effective campaign, and that's going to carry into the general. If we have like her campaign is embarrassing, and I don't say that to be mean or rude. It's just an actual professional assessment. It's just all these like static posts on her social media of her getting endorsed by all these out of district politicians that frankly suck. They're like rhinos.
Yeah, you were saying something. There's a lot of rhinos there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and one of the people that endorsed her pulled his endorsement, and pulled her yard sign out of his yard because I think people in his neighborhood were outraged with him for supporting her because she's liberal, and this area is 90% registered voters Republican, and it's disappointing because it's like, how do you think that you're going to win a general election if you can't even be in a room and debate a Republican?
If you can't present your point, and hey,
No.
MDG, thanks for the raid, bro.
I probably already know the answer to this. I mean, I probably already know your answer. But what is your ideology on voter ID and mail-in voting? I probably already know your answer, but
Yeah. So for one, the Senate needs to get their act together. They need to get their ass in the Senate and pass the Save America Act. This is bullshit. Anna Polina Luna is probably one of my favorite members of Congress. She's a badass.
I like her a lot. Yep.
Yeah, she's so good. She recently spoke at Harvard. I mean, she's well respected, and it shows that you can be a strong Republican and even still have the same opportunities to reach people. But yeah, no, I actually, one of the things that I would do is run, and I know conservatives don't like licensing, and we have to have a license to fish, a license to do hair. I want to make it so that we have a license to vote that requires a lot of documentation, whether it's your social security,
It's no big
Social Security, marriage certificate.
We had to show
and documentation of your residency. That's also all of it's verified. We have the technology to do this, but we should have a voting license, because I don't really, honestly, voter ID in Oregon, illegals get driver's
IDs.
licenses.
Yep, you should
They
have
also
to have
get
a
registered
passport.
to vote.
You should have to have a passport at the very minimum.
in Texas, I had to show my driver's license to vote. It was no big deal. It was 1 second. Can I see your ID? Okay, cool. That's it. It was.
A real ID would be like a passport, right? That's, you need to show like your birth certificate and all that to get a real ID.
A government ID, an issued ID, an ID.
Well, yeah, but like Jonathan said, that in Oregon and California, they're giving illegals IDs. They're giving them driver's licenses. So if they have a driver's license, that's not enough to stop it. That's not enough, because then they're using that ID to go vote. I agree. There should be. This is like our most secure election, the most secure election in the world, and these kind of laws should be common sense. That's what I think.
Jonathan, we're going to keep you for
bring back common sense.
We're going to keep you for another 11 minutes. Give you a chance to go. I know you're going to do that space later. So what can you please tell everybody if they're in Oregon and they want to come see one of your speeches live or come see one of your events? Do you have events coming up? We have a calendar or anything?
I
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
need to
working
go.
on getting some events scheduled. I'm gonna be doing a meet and greet in Clackamas, at the heart of the district, and beautiful
Okay.
property, by the way. So, and I put everything on my social media, so that's the best way to stay updated. My handle's there, but also going and taking a look at my website, lockwoodfororegon.com, and also consider donating. I mean,
Yeah.
we have less than a month to go for this primary, and it is crucial. I mean, I need to raise money to get more signs, and that's the big one. And then also just the mailers and that's just so many expenses for a campaign, and it's tough to raise money in Oregon because I think a lot of people, if you look at campaign expenditures and campaign finance stuff, it's like unless you're backed by huge money, behind the scenes money, by these like special interests, it is hard to, raise the money you need to run a campaign, but it can be done. I also think that come in the general election that my campaign is going to turn heads in DC and they will help me take out Janelle Bynum because we need the right candidate. The money is the actual, like, once you get past the primary, the money comes, right?
Well,
But
we're
we
gonna
have to
help.
get there.
We're gonna help send some people over to your YouTube. If you want to, what we've been doing with our guests is after the YouTube processes the stream, it'll be a couple hours. We can send you a collaboration link, and then that way it'll
Okay.
say you'll be attached to the video, and we'll send
Yeah.
all of our viewers over to subscribe to your channel and go watch all your videos. And
And
you
we'll
know,
put your website and all your social medias up and let everybody know to go follow and
You guys are the best. You guys have
yeah,
been
no,
so
no,
nice.
thank you. And also, just to let you know,
Yeah.
Tommy doesn't want to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this: that every week, him and the group of patriots, with their own money, they go and buy food and stuff and go hand it out to the homeless in Portland. It's such a good group of people. I would strongly suggest that if you needed any people in Portland, boots on the ground, to tap into the group of patriots. This is a group of wonderful people that will, help you in whatever you need.
Yeah,
for
I mean
sure.
that's the other big thing is doing door knocking, and we have a lot of doors we have to hit. So if anybody is willing to volunteer and help me knock the doors in the district is huge, in terms of like distance it spans, all the way from like Portland and Lake Oswego, all the way out past into Clackamas, all the way down to Lynn County, which is almost near Eugene, and all the way out to Central Oregon.
Can they live stream
Um,
it? Can they live stream
yeah,
the door knocks?
I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes door knocking is really good, and sometimes it's kind of nuts.
I can imagine, especially somewhere like Portland or, I can imagine.
See, it's hard here.
Well,
It's
some
hard
of
here because of the
it's
heat, but it's hard there because of the people.
yeah. Some areas are you do not want to be, I don't think.
No.
But
And that's the thing is I've wanted to go up to Portland, but I have to like not get killed.
yeah, right.
And I think there are like truly
It's dangerous
really
here.
violent, evil people
I've
that if they
And-
could
and-
get their chance to do it, they would.
There's
So
people
I
coming.
need prayers.
Right.
Yeah, there's people coming here that are new, that are black bloc, that are coming from like Minneapolis and like original Antifa that are meeting up with the Antifa down here. That's where I got bear maced at, is they were having some kind of seminar to all figure out how they can block ICE together, and it was all new people and very much more violent than the ones that were already here. So yeah, if you decide to come to Portland, just DM me and I can meet up with
Okay.
you and we can do whatever together. That would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We should do
Yeah.
like a big walk day.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
I will.
followers.
I will fly in for that. Let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. So
I'm down.
it's so
Awesome.
there's so much negativity going on. I have just one. My final question to you is, what's your favorite thing about Oregon?
It's people. I know that some of the people here cause a lot of ruckus, but the people here are seriously like resilient and powerful. I mean, and some of the kindest people. I've had to move around and live in different places in my life for work and school. But the people here have like the pioneer spirit. They don't want to be told what to do. They're freedom loving, God believing people. We may not all agree on everything, either doctrinally or issue wise, but I think that people here are truly needing. People here are needlessly suffering, and I think that I will be a good voice for them in Congress and help get them the prosperity, opportunity, and hope. And
You guys
it
definitely have a
breaks my
mental
heart
health
to see.
crisis.
Yeah, and
You do.
Oregon is the most stressed state. It's also the most depressed state. And it doesn't have to be this way. I think when we were, like I said, a timber state, people were building the state and building their lives and building their
Thriving.
futures. And I want people to have that once again. I want people to
Yeah.
be able to go out into, I always said Ted Wheeler turned the city of roses into the city of riots. I first said that when I first got here. And one of the first
Yeah.
sessions I worked here. And it does not have to be this way. I mean, you saw like all the videos the Democrats posted are like, oh, it's like living in hell. Like, look, no, it's so beautiful. That's the beautiful. They showed the good parts. They're
Yeah.
hiding
Yeah, Maxine
the
Dexter does
reality
that.
that they've created.
Yep.
And I think we need to
Chanel
have a
Bynum.
candidate for this seat that has spirit and the tenacity to get down and fight these people in Congress and use that office to help fix the state, revive the state, and I will do it.
You definitely don't
Yeah.
sound like a typical Portland politician. You sound like exactly the change that they need. Honestly,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, sir. Vote
Well,
for
thank you
Jonathan,
both
everybody.
for
Vote
having
yeah,
me
no,
on.
thank you for your time. I know it's valuable.
Yeah.
I know you're super busy, but if we
You
can,
won over my chat. You know what's crazy is my chat's pretty brutal.
yeah,
And
they're
in the
rough.
beginning-
Our chats
In
are
the
rough.
beginning, they were kind of iffy, but you've won over my chat, so we love it. You know.
Thank you both.
No, thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Hey guys, thank you
All
so
right.
much for watching the Town Hall Tuesday. Please like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels, all three. We're gonna do a collab with them and everything. Thank you so much to our guest, Tommy. We're gonna close. Do you want me to close the stream so you can restart the space on your channel?
To be able to go out into, I always said Ted Wheeler turned the
Can
city
you
of roses
mute
into the
that?
city of riots. I
What is that?
first
What is
said
that?
when I first
Is that me? No.
Okay. No, that's I think his went off. Okay, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this. This was really awesome. This was one of our more serious ones. We really need to get out there and vote. I know I don't live there, but I can help you as much as I can. Portland Patriots. Hey, you get together with him. I will
I'm
fly
gonna
out for
raid
that.
Somebody, hold on.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely
raid somebody.
gonna
I'll raid somebody too.
get a hold of him and talk to him about helping or door knocking. I wouldn't mind
And you know what?
doing that and getting some
I
experience
just want to
from
say
that.
some of you guys are fucking rude, man. You can't judge a book by its cover. I hope he changed your mind
Hey.
about what you originally thought. Like, what the fuck, man?
You know, there
What the
was
fuck?
some pretty good haters in the chat in the beginning, but
Yeah.
I slowly seen them going
Okay.
like, hey, he's pretty dope,
I'm gonna raid
and
Danny.
that I'm gonna raid Fat Patriot again.
Okay, I'm gonna raid Danny Rebel.
Oh, Chris is
Does
Fat
Fat?
Patriot was so happy last time.
No,
so
do it.
let's
No,
do-
he's
everybody.
he's got like 8 viewers sometimes. Do it. Rate him.
Yeah, we're gonna
Wait.
gonna
Hold on,
send
hold
you
on.
guys to the Fat Patriot.
Hold on a
Go
second.
to Fat Patriot
Wait a
when the
minute, wait a
live
minute,
ends. Go to Fat Patriot's YouTube and tell them we
Hey,
love
wait a
them.
minute, wait a minute,
God
wait a
bless
minute.
them
Hey.
and keep being a patriot. And
Oh, you know what? Hey, you know
like
what?
and subscribe to Fat Patriot.
Hey, Danny Rebel. I hope you don't mind, man. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna raid Fat Patriot too. Let's do it. Let's blow his ass up. It's fucking gonna be funny.
Yeah, we'll both raid.
I'm doing it for the
raid you guys
comedic
next
value.
time, Chris.
Yeah, we'll raid you guys later.
All right.
Okay,
God bless
okay.
you guys. I love you guys.
Save. Hey,
Thank you guys.
thanks.
Hey, if you live in Oregon, vote for Jonathan Lockwood for Congress for the 5th district. So yeah, do
hey,
it.
thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.
Like and subscribe. Peace.